When we read Sherlock Holmes, we went through our good reading strategy for this year. Detect, decipher, deploy. We spoke about what a good detective thinks like, how he looks at the facts and finds the answers through the skill of deduction. We talked about how Watson sees but does not observe. He looks but he does not find. Watson sees the facts but is blind to the answer, until, of course, Sherlock patiently explains the answer and the steps to finding the answer. By reading Sherlock Holmes, we are seeking to think like a good detective and to train our minds.
Sherlock, things might appear so very simple to you that I could easily find the answer myself, but I'm completely baffled until you explain, and yet I believe my eyes are just as good as yours.
Quite so. You see, but you do not observe. It's elementary, my dear Watson. How many times have you walked the stairs outside?
Frequently.
How many?
Some hundreds of times.
How many stairs are there?
How many I do not know.
That is because you see, but you do not observe. I, on the other hand, will see and observe and know that there are 17 steps.
The Phantom Tollbooth by Norton Juster is a great book that teaches us to think about the world around us. Not only are numbers and letters equal, they are both necessary to communicate. We are made to communicate for many reasons: to worship God, to read of His Word, to tell of His goodness, to work, to care for one another, and to enjoy God's creation. Milo learns that the world is a curious and adventurous place. This book is a reminder to me that I have to engage my mind to enjoy the world around me.
Welcome. Why not sit down for a moment and rest? I'm sure you must be tired. Have you been traveling long? Days. Weeks.
It has been a long time. But we would have been here much sooner if I hadn't made so many mistakes. It's all my fault.
You must never feel bad about being wrong. For we often learn by being wrong for the right reasons and being right for the wrong reasons.
But there's just so much to learn.
But it's not just learning things that are important. That's important. It's learning what to do with what you learn. And even learning why you learn things, that's what matters.
But that's just what I mean. Many things I'm supposed to know seem so useless. And I can't see the purpose in learning them at all.
You may not see them now, but whatever we learn has a purpose. And whatever we do affects everything and everyone else.
I think I understand.
In our class, we read The Secret Garden and discussed whether it is better for a child to be neglected or spoiled. In The Secret Garden, the two main characters, Mary and Colin, were both extremely spoiled, and they needed to learn that the world didn't revolve around them. They thought that servants weren't real people and were just there to please them. I believe that neglecting a child or spoiling them are both equally awful. Mary and Colin both start to improve and learn how disagreeable they used to be. And with the help of Mary and Dickon, Colin learns how to walk again, and that most of his illness was just in his head. Throughout this book, you can see these characters grow and learn from each other.
The Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens is an interesting story about how people can change. In the story, Scrooge changes from loving money and being greedy to loving friends, family, and sharing. It is difficult for anyone to change, so the author uses comparisons to aid Scrooge in his growth. Scrooge meets himself in different forms, past, present, and future. He also compares himself to his late partner.
and his nephew. He realizes that his nephew has very little, but is happy. These comparisons help Scrooge realize that money has not made him happy, and the ugliness of Scrooge in the beginning of the book encourages me not to love money like he did, and for me to be like the nephew.
Spirit, before I look at that stone, tell me, is this the things that will be or may be? Spirit, people change. People change.
The Merry Adventures of Robin Hood. The story of Robin Hood starts with him and his merry men. They all live in Sherwood Forest. Robin has been an outlaw ever since he killed one of the men of the contest he won when he was just 18 years old. Robin found men that would help him. They would also live their lives as outlaws. Robin and his merry men steal from the rich and give to the poor. The sheriff found out about what Robin had done, so he sent an ambush on him and he was caught. Robin mixed a strong drink and the sheriff drank it and fell asleep. Robin got the documents and ran out. Again, the sheriff tries to catch Robin Hood and his men. The sheriff holds an archery contest to catch him. Robin comes, but in disguise, so nobody knew who he was. Robin wins the contest and gets out just in time, except one of his men did not. His name was Will Stuteley, and the sheriff proceeded to execute him for his crimes. But Little John, another outlaw, stalled the execution so that Robin and his men could save him. Later, Robin was invited to a feast from the sheriff, but the sheriff did not know that he was in disguise again. The sheriff came to the meat cart to buy meat for the feast, but Robin was in disguise using the meat cart. So he sold a deer to the sheriff and got out again. The sheriff, being mad, hired a professional thief to murder Robin. But Robin and his men defeated the man. After they defeated the man, the king sent out one of his men and it was a close match. Robin was stabbed but still won. Robin had a bad wound and bled to death. And that is the Merry Adventures of Robin Hood.
I want that mischievous Robin Hood. So do we.
It seems we have some guests.
Does that mean we get to feast?
I'll go shoot some deer.
We already have some, you good-for-nothing pighead.
The North Wind by George MacDonald. We read this book because sometimes things that look good are actually bad, and bad things good. In other words, we can't judge a book by its cover. The book shows that the North Wind does things that look as if they're bad, or goes in the shape of something that looks bad also. But Little Diamond just needs to trust that it's all for something good.
Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim. Once there was a family of field mice. There was a mom named Mrs. Frisbee and 4 kids. They lived in an underground house in a vegetable garden that belonged to a man named Mr. Fitzgibbon. One day, Timothy got very sick with pneumonia, and moving day was coming. Mrs. Frisbee went to the mouse named Mr. Aegis, and he gave her the medicine. She went to the Rats of Nim. Nim is a place where the rats get taught how to read and write. They got very smart. She needed help from the Rats of Nim so she could move the house before moving day. But there was a cat that was guarding the field all the time. They had to put it to sleep. After they did that, they had to dig up the house. They put it on a house plank. They put the house on a plank of wood and had broomsticks under it. They moved it to the end of the woods, but the people found out that the rats lived in the bush. In the end, people came to kill the rats. Most of them got out except for one of them. Someone went in to get it, but he did not make it out in time. But whoever it was must have been very brave.
Mrs. Frisbee is traveling across the barnyard. She has just picked up 3 packages of medicine from Mr. Ages. The medication is for little Timothy, Mrs. Frisbee's youngest son, who is sick with pneumonia. He must recover quickly so the Frisbees can move to their summer home. If Timothy is not well enough to move, they will be destroyed in their current house when the farmer plows the field this spring.
Wait!
Why should I wait? I'm stuck. I need to get away.
The cat is sure to hear if you keep making such noise, if he hasn't heard already. Come down here, I'll get the string off.
I see the cat.
Quiet, does he see us?
I don't know. He's looking at me. I don't think he can see you.
Stand still. Is he moving fast or slow?
Medium.
I'm done. There, you're free. Fly off. Be quick.
What about you? Look, climb on my back and hang on.
The crow surged upward just in time as they heard the angry scream of the cat.
Meow!
The crow flew Mrs. Frisbee to her home.
Thank you.
It is I who should be thanking you. You saved my life.
And you saved mine.
Yes, but it's not quite even. Yours wouldn't have been risked if it had not been for me and my piece of string. I am indebted to you. If a time ever comes when I can help you, I hope you will ask me. My name is Jeremy. Mention it to any crow in the woods and he will find me.
Thank you. I will remember.